Back to Sports Edge. Boy, there's certainly plenty to be excited about as we are into the NCAA tournament now. Sweet 16 round. We're back at Madison Square Garden, the first time in, over 50 years that we've had an NCAA tournament played there. UConn generating a lot lots of excitement. It's like a home game.
And you get to go. How did that happen?
I'm already there, right? If you're watching now.
That's true. But look, seriously, you've been there a lot. What are your favorite things about that?
Oh man, I mean, first off, it's you mean to Madison Square Garden or the NCAA
covering
tournament?
it, the UConn NCAA tournament.
The NCAA, it's a great event, even though the NCAA treats the electronic media like we have leprosy.
Yes.
It's a great event. It's a ton of fun to watch. The excitement there. I don't think there's anything like it in sports. I don't think any event. And look, we've all been to tons of events. I don't think there's anything like the NCAA tournament because it just has that college feel.
Yeah, and to be there, it does take it to a whole nother level. Just to watch it at home is so exciting. That first couple of days, and then as you get further in, and when your team is in it as well. And you know, we're not supposed to root for these teams, but we've covered the UConn teams for so long. You get to know these players, and you start to pull for them a little bit. At least I do. And then when you see great games like that, I haven't been in the Garden much. I've been more on the women's beat, but you know, once or twice I've been down there, and it is electric in that place. And I think if they can, you know, pull off Friday's upset, and I think they have a chance to get to the Final Four, this UConn men's team.
I think they're going to win Friday and then lose Sunday, but it'll be, like you said, it'll be in progress when we tape this, but it should be fun. But my favorite part about the Garden, too, is just all the people, the New York Daily News, the Jack O'Connells from the AP.
Yeah.
There's just that buzz, and you've talked about it with the men's Final Four. I've never been to a men's Final Four, only a women's Final Four, which is a great time when we went to Atlanta and New Orleans, but just the people who are there, not only the fans, but the people around it. You see some big names in our business, which makes it fun, too.
Well, 1999, we were both in Tampa when the UConn men won their first championship, and boy, what excitement that was. And I've been to 5 of the women's national championships. I don't know which is my favorite. I mean, it's equally kind of exciting, but watching the men win their first one. Now, you were at the last one in 2011 with Kemba Walker.
Yeah.
That was, just watching it from here, that was exciting to watch it. How was that to be?
You know, it wasn't as exciting as in 1999 because that was the breakthrough moment, right? That was they won, they beat Duke, everyone. Yeah, and I have my issues with that because you know Colin Elamine goes running around and we shocked the world, we shocked the world. It was, wait a minute, you were ranked number 2 in the country, at 1.1 in the country for a good part of the year. You shocked the world. You know, you beat
Game was
Duke.
a hiccup for
after all,
exactly.
That's Elamine, after all.
Everyone likes to play the underdog role. But in 11, what was exciting about it is that wasn't the team that people said that's a championship team. And you got to see greatness from Kemba Walker as he put that team on his back and just rode him through. I've never seen a performance like that through a tournament. And you remember they won the 5 games in the Big East tournament leading up to that. So they put together, you know, the consecutive streak of victories. That was. It was remarkable in that sense because that wasn't a team. That team really did shock the world, right? And then you had the other team. What was it in 2004 that beat Georgia Tech for the national championship, right? The bigger game in that series when they beat Duke in the semifinals. Remember they were down, and Coach Calhoun sat him back and forth. We were on the thinking the same thing with 2 fouls in the first half. They come back to win that game, and then they go on to easily beat Georgia Tech. And that game was almost anticlimactic because they had that.
But that year was special because the women won it that year too, and so there's always something exciting about this.
Exactly. Do you remember that in San Antonio? I was in San Antonio. You were in New Orleans. Were you in New Orleans as well?
Well, we had a show the Friday night.
Exactly.
And you were in a lightning storm in San Antonio. And I was here in New Haven, and I remember saying to John over the system, hey, John, we don't have Noah right now. You may have to do the whole show by yourself. Like, all right, that's cool.
Let's do it. You know what? Let's talk about more of this over on SportsEdge.com. We've run out of time here on television, but we're going to move the whole conversation over to SportsEdge.com, so we'll see you over there. So, we were sitting in the truck when that happened. There's lightning, and we were up on a scaffolding.
And you were with Kent Pierce, too, remember?
Kent Pierce was there, and Tina Detel was with you in New Orleans filing reports. But we're all going, well, what should we do? And we're looking, and we're seeing lightning, and it's pretty far off in the distance, but it's a big metal scaffolding where our set was. And
how to roll the dice.
Ultimately, it's what we did. RJ Tattersall was the photographer we're working with, and I looked at RJ, and he said, let's go. I said, okay, let's do it. So at the last second.
Yeah, because you guys were off it for a little while, and then you went back up, and I remember telling John, "Oh, Noah's there," and it was literally a minute before the show started.
Yeah, it was. But that to have won both the men and the women, that was remarkable.
I remember Jim Calhoun was the guy who couldn't win big games. People forget about that. The 1993 team with Danielle Marshall that lost to Florida in like a regional semi, and when Ray Allen in the '96 team, fresh off that win against Georgetown, lost to Mississippi State.
Yeah, team against George Mason was another team that should have probably achieved a little bit more than they did.
The Marcus Williams team, remember that was that Rudy Gay Gay
Yeah.
lost maybe the year before. I'm getting it all confused now, but
I know it's hard to keep track. But we've been pretty spoiled.
Yeah, we have been spoiled. And you know, I think, on the men's side, it gets exciting because you don't expect it each year. It's become expected with the women. I think some of the excitement gets sucked out of it until the very final game. Everyone expects them to be, April 8th against Notre Dame this year playing for the national championship, and chances are they will. But, they're going for a 9th national championship.
And it's unfortunate because we take it for granted.
Yeah.
But I don't know, can you think of anything in any of the mainstream sports? I know we've seen, Trinity and squash do unbelievable win streaks, but in any of the mainstream sports, not that there's anything wrong with squash, but have we ever seen this sort of dominance? 9 national championships to have, and if they go on with this, right, they're going to have, what, will it be 3 of them with undefeated records?
3 undefeated. You have the first one was the first national championship was undefeated.
Yeah.
San Antonio was undefeated. Last year was not undefeated. There was another undefeated prior
3
to
maybe?
that.
I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
so I don't know. Maybe it's the 4th. I get all the
It's
numbers.
remarkable, that
Yeah.
dominance.
Yeah, it's unreal that no one has stepped up to challenge him. Notre Dame potentially could, this year, but
But they're not
yeah.
going to. That's what we all know.
Yeah, I know. Well, I made a bet on the radio the other day that if they lost, I was going to walk to California.
I heard that.
Yeah,
You're going to walk
That's
to
a good idea.
California.
it just popped out.
And you
know
couldn't
me
think of
sometimes.
something else?
No,
Hartford
like,
was,
perform in a tutu or something?
I don't know what. It just came out. What are you going to do? I made a similar bet when they were in San Antonio with that Sue Bird team that I'd walk home from San Antonio if they didn't win the championship because they were that good. I mean, they're that good this year. So I think it's it's theirs for sure.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Thanks for tuning in here on SportsEdge.com. It's all about the NCAA tournament.